Hi, I'm Laura Crapo, and I'm offering a live Q&A, psychic reading, like question answering. If anybody has any questions, if uh, until somebody asks, I could like do a reading on another subject. I did one earlier today on the collective energy. I could pick up on that again. Maybe I'll be more specific subject, but feel free to ask a question if you are watching. So, okay, collective reading. I found that part interesting that came up earlier today about like men and like men feeling better just in life and stuff, and like, how to go about that, because it's like confusing times right now. Okay, I'll just tune into that. I feel like there's something about like being expressive, and one way to do that like safely is through like theater, but like uh it could be just like you and your friends. Like it doesn't it's I find that like theater's biggest problem is people feeling like they need to audition for somebody's project. Like, while that might be cool, like, why wait, kind of thing. And back, a long time ago, theater was like small and like community. And I mean, even when I was a kid, if something was advertised, it was just like in a in the newspaper in a like a tiny corner in the back or something. It wasn't really that long ago that like theater and stuff was done on a smaller scale, like and I mean it still is, but like you don't always hear about everything. You just hear about stuff that's corporately sponsored or whatever. So let's just like throw out the notion of trying to find someone to cast you in a play, and you're just like doing it yourself as like a exercise, like as a fun kind of parlor games activity. So okay, I'm just trying to look at how this works. I'm getting a lot of like, there's this sort of vein of like sort of darker themes and stuff. Um, so maybe okay, this is like, I'm just doing this preliminary reading about the collective energy of men and like how to feel better and stuff. But until somebody asks a question. So yeah, like it's instead of like acting out rage in real life or like feeling pent up and stuff, this would be like one, like a safe kind of arena for that. Like if you made a sort of just like some of your friends, like between like 5 and 10 friends, doing your own kind of like actor studio kind of workshop thing, where you do these little scenes and you give each other feedback and stuff. And but like some of the exercises could be like, obviously without hurting anybody, like having these strong emotions, like expressing them in a safe environment, and like uh so that it's like artistic rather than like against anybody. So okay, let me just picture this. And also, like, I feel like the idea of playing a character makes it sort of safer to, uh, act out scenes where like someone's confessing their love, or like they're doing, you can like really make it not yourself, like really make the character you're playing have like all these different attributes and like life history and all this stuff. So then it's, and then like, so it's like not so close to you, and then it's sort of safer to express these feelings. And then you know, like your story of your play that you're putting on or you're workshopping through doing these exercises can tell a completely different story than your own, or it could be in a different time. Like I know people who like, I don't know people who LARP, but like I actually live near a giant LARP place that I haven't been to. But the you know, just like people like watching like Lord of the Rings and all that stuff. So it's like you could make it like super old timey place, so it's even more detached from today. And like, you know, I just think it's like super healthy and fun to like normalize theater like as just like a parlor game and stuff. And then like you can then, once you've like played with like different little scenes and you know together try to figure out like what the story is, then you can like perform it and record it and stuff. And maybe, you know, maybe it's like really cool and groundbreaking, and then that is put like out in the world alongside all these other kind of more well-known projects. And like the bigger industry projects are going to have to raise their game because like you like influenced you know, things to necessarily be at a higher level, like workshopping it more, like the story's deeper, like it's better acted, or you know, like so just in terms of like, I'm not saying like only men can do this or what, I'm just like, I started this reading prior to any questions, live questions, picking up on the collective reading I was doing earlier today. And one thing that came up was about men and like how men can feel better today. And so like this is when I'm picking up that like doing some kind of theater workshop among your friends and stuff, just taking, you know, taking place like in your home, or like if you think of Streetcar Named Desire, like it all, most of the scenes happen just in their kitchen, right? Like in a or like living room, like really very small, happens in the home is what I'm trying to say. Like I know there's a scene in like a bowling alley, but like most of it happens in the house. So it's like a good example of a play that just naturally happens at home. Okay. Okay, what else about like men feeling better in general? These theater projects. I think it's really important to have like a phase of this theater development where you're not trying to enforce any kind of structure on it. Like you, let's say you have like 5 to 10 people, or like there's a core of 5, and then some the other 5 can come when they can and whatever. And then through these exercises, acting exercises you do that you can like find out about online and whatever, or you can like make up your own. Like, I mean, anyone who's like a famous acting coach made up their own technique, so you're allowed to do that too. And then through those exercises, you see like what you want to see out of like, and what each person's really good at, and like what you want to bring out of them, or and then once you have those like core kind of characters or characteristics, then you can like form a play out of that to like build scenes around like what you want those people to do or act out or feel, or like whatever they're good at. Maybe some people are good at silence, like maybe, and just their presence is really strong. Like it's really wide open. But I feel like it would be super healthy to like be able to express your emotions like in a safe and creative space like that. And then it has the added bonus of like if you record it when you finally come up with the play or whatever, it could be like really cool and groundbreaking and inspiring to a lot of people. Who's okay? Okay. Okay, what else? I'm gonna have to change the title. Asking a question to like home theater. Okay, and what else? Let's like just stay on this theme. I feel like some people would be like, you know how there's haters in this world, or like people who don't have a creative project of their own make you their creative project to sabotage you. So I kind of feel like there could be that like in-house, like, anybody else living in the house who might be like, why are you doing that? Like, and you just kind of have to like let them sit with their feelings and just carry on and like know that what you're doing is worthwhile, even if it's in the beginning stages, and enjoy the process. Like enjoy not knowing what you're doing. Like that's what allows inspiring moments to be born, like when you're not being really strict about like everything. Like even Orson Welles said, like being a director, I'm not quoting him because like you're in charge of creating a space where people can have these magic inspired moments. Like sure, there's a story, but you have to make space for that sort of chaos to occur. And he said that like he had these moments of like brilliance, but it was like always by accident and always like a blessing and stuff. And you have to like keep some empty space like for that to take place. And then those moments, those special moments can like are the building blocks of like what makes a cool play and stuff or movie. But even if you're making a movie as your final result, it's good to like workshop something if it has like actors and story in it, and depending on who you have working with you, like that'll help dictate like what works. And like for instance, I really wanted to make a feature like in like 2000 or so, and I just asked like people I knew like from my like baby like new mom group and prenatal class, and like from just like people I knew, and a lot of like Canadian musicians and stuff. And like the final, I would say that like my story, I really stuck to my script, and it was like I don't know why. Like my script was like holding back in some ways like the brilliance of all these people who could have like better improvised like it. The coolest moments are just like how magnetic all the people are, and like there's like, but like the only way to make a cool movie is to make like attempts at a cool movie, and then eventually you figure out like how you work best, whatever. And anyway, so like I showed it to this guy who works like in the office part of like Disney and stuff, and like he's like, where did you find these people? Like that he was saying I'd be a good casting agent. Like it's not like a compliment to someone who just directed something, but like it's true. Like you have to like let the moment like speak, kind of like be you're a witness to this person that's there to act, and like you have to like take a back seat to like allow this moment of like for them to like be present, you know, and not restricted by the script necessarily. I mean, it's okay to like have a story and stuff, but or for them to even say lines, but you know, just be open, like be in the moment and pick and choose like what's really working, I would say. Okay, so going back to the subject at hand, like men feeling better in this world, and one idea was theater, doing theater at home with your friends and stuff. Yeah, and then I feel like some of these like people do this and kind of ignore the industry and just do this stuff seriously. I feel like that would result in a lot of like smaller playhouses cropping up, like storefront theaters and stuff. You know how like some people have like storefront churches and stuff? It could be like that. And they can be like, you know, it's of course outsiders can come see it, but it's like it makes the community feel supported, and it's like an important part of the Main Street USA kind of like thing. All right. All right. What else? I also feel that like people will donate, like when you do a good job, like people will pay for tickets or like donate because they want you to do more. And it's like I feel like it's not something where you even have to apply for grants or anything. Like people will pay to see it because I feel like whoever does this will do a really good job, and like it'll feel really real because like the acting is like valuing the moment. Like what I pick up is like the moment playing, like doing it live in front of other people. Let's say you've never done that before, it can feel like a crisis or something, but within that crisis it's very energy charged, and you can kind of like work with that, like accept it, and then it kind of like transports you mentally into like your character, like it sort of like forces you into your imagination, I feel like. So like embrace that nervousness and embrace like the newness of performing if you never have. And like amateur theater, like I feel like could be like really healthy for men. I'm just doing this, don't get mad. Like it's I'm just doing a reading specifically on this, on men's health and like how amateur homegrown theater is like a good idea. Okay, what else about that? Yeah, and I also feel like I don't know if it's just like a few people watching this who are like, maybe I'll do that. I feel like as a result of that, it's the play that you make like organically with your friends, that you like the final result of, let's say, like 6 weeks of like workshopping, like let's say you do an exercise where no one says anything, but each of you has a turn just being on your stage, which is just like in front of all of you if there's no stage, and you're just observing that person, and then everyone like jots down like what they would like them to do and like what they feel that the character could be of that person based on how they're observing him, and then do that for each of you, and then like that's like the beginning of building your play. And I feel like what I was picking up just now was the play that you end up with, which can be written down, um, can be published, and then other people will want to do that play, and you can get paid for that too, like passive income. So it's, you know, and then of course like people turn plays into movies and all that. So you can get paid that way too. But I wouldn't like have that as your necessarily in mind as your starting point. It would be more like, this would be a really healthy thing for us to do. Let's say you have a group of friends that are just stressed and bored, or like, you know, disenchanted a bit with life and their situation, and then this would sort of add this like creative dimension to your life that would be like really supportive and also honoring like who you are at this moment, and allowing you a safe space to workshop like emotions and just being present and all that stuff that isn't really like honored in our current lifestyle, you know. And it would like also occupy your time in like a different way than you're used to, so it might just like really kind of make your brain work better like because you're like making it do different stuff than you were doing before. So because like whatever it is, like creating new neural networks or something, because like I don't know if it's an animation or like real, where it's kind of like these spider connectors, like, you know, like in real time, like are making new neural networks and stuff. So it might just make you better at your job or whatever, or just more creative in general. Um, okay, what else? Men's health, collective. I feel too that like let's say a long time ago, um, when there were a lot fewer people, and you'd be like spending a lot of hours just in the woods, like hunting or waiting for prey and stuff, and that kind of like just sitting and observing. I feel like that would be like super healthy too for men to be like let's say you made a top 10 list of like stuff men used to do like a long time ago, like a really long time ago, before there were towns and whatever, uh and then like try to do, you know, of course within reason, like, and it's, let's say instead of framing it like meditation, it's like observing without feeling the need to react. um so like even if you're in a city, you're putting your phone down, and like you're just one thing after another, just like observing stuff, and like without like freaking people, like don't hold a stare for like a 5 count, but like, you're observing them, and like you just like whatever it is. I guess it's a bit like reading people, but like not saying anything, but like not in so much of a critique, but noticing. um Also, like, if like when I was a kid, like people used to be really good at like climbing trees and stuff. And like, let's say you were hanging out with a bunch of teenagers, like there's always someone who's like really good at climbing a tree, like right to the top, and then like laughing and like making the tree so. So like maybe if you're tired of the gym, like you could climb trees. Like, um, and it would just make you feel more grounded. It's sort of like a accelerated version of tree hugging, but like it's challenging, and of course, like make sure you're in, like, don't challenge yourself too much. Like it has to be, you get used to it slowly. Like, because I don't want anyone to get hurt. But like, let's say you start with like an apple tree, whatever. Um, let's see if that works for you. Like, I think like oak trees or like stuff with stronger branches, of course, a better idea. Um, but I feel like that would be healthy. Also, you don't need to buy a bunch of gear. Like rock climbing kind of freaks me out. I have like a bit of vertigo, like not vertigo in the sense that feeling dizzy standing on the ground, but like fear of heights. Um, I didn't used to. But then like when in my 20s, I like dated this guy and he was like lying all the time. And it, like, when someone's always telling you stuff that isn't true and you feel isn't true, like I think it messes with your body function or something. Anyway, so then after that, I had like a bit of vertigo or fear of heights all of a sudden, when before I was like a daredevil. And so it's like, where was I going with that, with the tree climbing? Oh yeah, rock climbing. So like, it doesn't, it doesn't have to be dangerous, or like technical, or like, you know what I mean? Like, you can get some good exercise just out in nature for free. Okay, what else? I'm just gonna do one more thing as these ATVs come back from the food truck. Um, Here they call them quads. I don't know. I guess back in the day there was 3 wheels and now there's 4. Okay. Okay, one more thing. Men's health, and I'm just gonna see. Yeah. Men's health for the collective. I don't know, like pick it up. Maybe because I mentioned apple trees and climbing apple trees as like a starter pack for climbing bigger trees. But I'm getting like fruit. Like, maybe there's some men watching this who need to eat more fruit, and like, I mean, obviously it's not that complicated to like make fruit a meal or whatever. Like, it doesn't involve cooking. But like, it's okay. Let me see what's this about fruit and men eating fruit and stuff. Men's health. Yeah. Okay, like I'm getting this thing about, like, let's say you replace like drinking alcohol with like having like fruit, and it would be like just as kind of satisfying as that kind of fruity flavor, but like so much better for you. Um, some substitution, and like right now in North America, in Quebec, uh, it's summertime and it's good like picnicking weather, and um, like the summer air, and like having like fruit and stuff when you're like hanging out. It's kind of like, it's a vibe. It's like fun. So even if you just like bought some grapes, and like went to a park and like ate them there al fresco, like that will feel better than drinking alcohol or like any other kind of drink. Um, okay, one more thing about men's health. I feel like right now, I'm feeling like some people are stressed out because like their living situations like kind of sketchy, and like maybe they have a pet and they're not like maybe like a lot of apartments and stuff like don't allow pets and stuff. So I'm picking up that like one idea is to sort of have like a community adopt a pet together. And so like whoever, let's say you need to travel somewhere or whatever, you all kind of like take turns caring for this pet so that you can still keep them. But like let's say maybe someone can have a pet at their house, but they're so busy they can't walk it, but you can walk it and enjoy this pet on your walks. And then the other person can enjoy the pet when they get home. Like I feel like that might work for men's health to like cooperatively take care of a pet, like a dog or whatever. And then you can also like save money on food and like other, vet bills and whatever, because you're doing this together. So I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm going to change the title of this video because it was not a Q&A. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye.